it's time to fall in love with life again. Because if you don't love your life and you don't love yourself, then what is even happening in your world, you know? And I have received this nudge a few times in the last, shall we say, year, that you've got to fall in love with your life. You've got to fall in love with every aspect of it. And you can do that, you know, whether you hate your job, whether you hate your house, whether you're stuck in money woes or relationship woes or work woes, you can find the good parts in your life. And if you focus on the good parts, they expand. And that is a real key piece, okay? So here we are again on Wednesday, and these videos are beginning to show me a pattern, because it seems like Monday is very inwards, very, very inwards. Tuesday, it seems like I deal with the frustration of what comes from that inwardsness. And then Wednesday, I come back to life again. And here I am on Wednesday, coming back to life again. And whatever shifts I have been through over the last couple of days seems to have brought me, sorry, I don't know if you hear funny noises, right? It's on a spinny thing. That's my skincare. It's on a spinny thing. So that's the noise that you hear, that noise. It's my spinny thing. Anyway, what was I saying? So I seem to go through a little bit of a transition as I start the week. Like I say, Monday, very inwards, very, feeling into the week. What's going on? How am I feeling? Very inwards. Tuesday, it nearly always feels crap. And it's interesting because when I think back about my life, Tuesdays, I've always hated Tuesdays. I've always said Tuesdays are nothing. You know, Monday's like, hey, it's Monday, it's the start of the week. Wednesday's like, hey, it's the halfway through. Thursday, it's like, hey, it's weekend eve. And Friday is obviously like weekend. But Tuesday is always this like nothingness in the middle of it, where there isn't really a kind of, you know, anything to look at Tuesday and be like, Tuesday's really good. So for years, you know, Tuesday has been a bit of a pants day in my world. And it's interesting because what is it? It's the root. So Tuesday, I think, I don't know these off the top of my head, guys. I do have them written down, but I sometimes do have to check in on them. But Tuesday is mardi in French, and excuse the pronunciation. And no, I don't know. It's mardi in Spanish. Lunes mardi. I don't know. French and Spanish is blurring in my head. Anyway, Mars. So that is root chakra, if I remember right. Oh God, I wish I'd memorised these because I've got them written down. I don't bother memorising them. At the end of the day, we've only got so much space in the brain, right? So, you know, if I haven't memorised them, I haven't memorised them. Anyway, I think it's the root chakra. Maybe I should have looked before I joined this call, but I didn't know where this conversation was going to go. Anyway, it's not a call, it's a video. Anyway, Gail, Mars. I think it's root chakra. For some reason, I think Mars and root chakra for a Tuesday. I'm getting a burning hot sweat. I'll be back in a minute. So I haven't got time for this morning. Let's do basic makeup because honestly, it's getting warmer again here in the UK and wowzers. Anyway, so root chakra, foundations. What are the foundations that we need to work on this today? What's the things? What were the things that were coming up for me? Where did it send me? It sent me to a path where I woke up this morning going, I am not in love with my life right now. I am not romanticizing my life. And there's a whole journey going on for me around social media at the moment and platforms and what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. And you know, I've been talking about I need to express with my voice. I need to record what I'm saying. I need to do all this kind of stuff, which is why I'm here. Anyway, so let's just run through that really quickly. So this place is my journal. So just as I used to open up a notepad on a morning, and I used to just document whatever was on my brain or whatever I thought was on my brain. It was actually my soul, but I used to just write down whatever was coming through. Sometimes I'd ask for it. Sometimes it would just be there. Today it's just there. So this is my journal. This is where I just document all that kind of stuff. Then I have Instagram spaces. And my Instagram spaces are slightly different. So I have the energy-led woman, which is like my main Instagram space. And that is about me leaving breadcrumbs about who I am becoming. And it's like, who was I today? Who am I tomorrow? What did that cause? What transition has that created in my life? Who am I becoming? Who am I? You know, you can see all the way through that process. Then I have energy-led health, which is where I specifically focus on health. And there aren't yet, but there will be workout diaries. There will be highlights around issues that I'm dealing with. So right now we've got high blood pressure on there because that is my main focus at the moment. You know, there's that. And then I have like same but for wealth, same but for self-care, same but for like tracking the energy around us, the moon cycles, the human design transits, all that kind of stuff. And I have my kitchen, which is just where I'm keeping food information. So Instagram is my topics, if you like. Here's my journal. Instagram's my topics. And there was this piece of me. I've already turned Facebook into this. So Facebook for me is my highlights reel, my glimmers. And I know there's meant to be like, you know, a bad vibe against that, you know, oh, Facebook, it's only where other people post their glimmers. Actually, post your goddamn glimmers. Post your favourite parts of your day, because if you're not posting those pieces, then you're not aware of them. No, that's not necessarily true. So let me change that. What I mean is, if you tell yourself every single day you are going to post the best bit of your day, you have to focus on the best bit of your day. You have to focus on finding the best bits of your day. And that is that, you know? And that is such a great tool for so many things in life, because if you can, whenever you're celebrating something, your body knows it's safe. Your body can't celebrate when it's being hunted by a saber-toothed tiger. You know, this goes back to how our bodies work. When our bodies feel, when we're singing, when we're dancing, when we're happy, when we're laughing, when we're expressing joy, our body knows it's safe. That has a whole impact on your nervous system, on every part of your body, on the hormones that are getting released, everything. You know? It disrupts this cycle of feeling unsafe. It disrupts the cycle of lack. It disrupts the cycle of that. So for a while now, while I've been rehashing these spaces, I've known what I want my Instagram stories to be. And I want my Instagram stories to be my glimmers during the day. Little snippets of things that made me feel good. And then, whichever one made me feel the best, I'm going to post it on Facebook on an evening. So not only am I using my stories as a tool to focus on all the amazing things that happen in my life, to romanticize my life, to see my life through eyes of, wow, isn't this freaking amazing? I love my life. That's what my stories are about. And then, like I say, the favourite one I post on Facebook. Because Facebook has that amazing memories feature, and I love the memories feature, and I want to feed the memories feature. So, whatever was going on for me inwards on Monday, and they're kind of like feeling a bit yesterday, has brought me to this again. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But seriously, if you need to find a way to romanticize your life. You need to find a way to be aware and to notice all the things that make you feel good and not let them just drift past you, you know? I sat this morning and I glanced out on my patio and the sun was rising, and where the sun was rising, it puts just this like sunshiny shadow kind of thing across my patio, and it just, whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a lovely day. It just lights me up, it just makes me happy. And so I've put that on my stories today. You know, maybe in a minute I might put a picture of my skincare on my story today, because doing this makes me happy. Recording these videos makes me happy. You know, I'm gonna have a dance again in a minute. I've stopped dancing again. I started it last week. I've stopped again this week, and that is just ridiculous, because I want to celebrate every goddamn day, and I want my body to know that we are in celebration. We are not in survival. We are in celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Don't switch off. I know I can't sing. I've never ever claimed to sing. However, it is an expression, right? And there was, on Diary of a CEO, Dr. Tara Stewart went on Diary of the CEO, and she said, your brain, you need to disrupt a cycle of survival and all the nervous system stuff that comes with it. You need to celebrate, you need to sing, you need to do all those things. And that is what I am about. And it's so interesting to me again that today is Wednesday, which is the day of Mercury, which in human design, Mercury is your Mercury gate is the message you're here to bring. My message is a message of correction. So I am here to correct us and put us back on the right path. Now, my incarnation cross is all about seeing through illusion and bringing joy back. It's about authentically feeling the illusion, the patterns, the web above everything, but actually seeing through that to bring the joy back. And it's about, you know, making ordinary moments extraordinary. All that kind of stuff is all in my human design chart. And that is, you can see as I'm talking about it, it's lighting me up, because this is a big piece of me. And it's a piece that I suppress. And that is crazy, really, isn't it? Because, you know, we don't want to be who is she? Who is she to live life and love life? Who is she? Who is she? Who does she think she is to be celebrating her life? Who does she think she is? She's a show off. Such a show off. How can she be celebrating her life? Who does she think she is? How can she be happy? You know, there's that judgment out there, and it suppresses us, and it makes us want to hold back, and we shouldn't hold back. We shouldn't hold back, because the actual process of being happy in your life disrupts the feeling of feeling unsafe. You can't get more. You can't receive more stuff in your life if you don't have a safe foundation to carry it on. If you don't feel safe in your life, more cannot come to you. And I don't, you know, whatever more may be for you, money, wealth, joy, love, happiness, freedom, time, whatever it may be, while you are in a zone of feeling unsafe, that cannot come in. Got to correct the safety issue. More health. Got to be safe. You know? I'm talking about blood pressure at the moment. If I'm not feeling safe, my body is in survival mode. It's in panic mode. Calm that heart rate down. Feel safe again. So, and in feeling safe and in noticing all these amazing things that are going on in your life, you are on the frequency of my life is freaking amazing. And when you're on the frequency of my life is freaking amazing, guess what? Guess what you're attracting? Guess what you're tuned into? Guess what's coming? When you're on the I'm so grateful, my life is flipping amazing, guess what's coming? More amazing life for you to live, for you to feel grateful about, because that is what you are, a frequential, is that a word? You are a frequential match to. When you're in a life of survival and struggle and hating every minute, guess what you're a match to? Turn it up. Turn up the volume on your life. Turn up the volume on the good pieces. Notice them. Take a leaf out of my book. Start using your Instagram stories as a place to log those little pieces that light up your day. You know? And if right now you can't see any of them, find them. Your task today, find 3 things. Find one thing that makes you feel good. You know, right now, this rug under my feet is so soft. I love it. It feels amazing. You know, notice. You know, this rug feels amazing. I'm looking outside and, you know, I'm looking at the traffic and there's a load of traffic, but there's sunshine. Feels good. Blue skies, not a single cloud. Feels good. Look at the birds flying past. Look at that. How amazing is that? Find it. How amazing did that skincare product feel when I put it on my face? How amazing is anything? Pick something and ask yourself, what's amazing about it? Why do I have this thing in my life? Why do I have this thing? Why do I have a lamp here? Why do I have these things here? Why do I like them? Ask yourself these questions. Notice why, and notice what feels good about everything in your life. Because if you're not doing that, you're in survival mode and you're kind of trapped in it. You kind of can't get out of it. The only way out of that survival mode is to start noticing the little pieces. Because when you start noticing the little pieces, you change your frequency. And when you change your frequency, that is what changes your life. Not how hard you can hustle. Not, not shouting at your partner and making him do what you want. You know, how you change things is by changing your frequency. Watch for the glimmers. Notice them. Force yourself to notice them. Train yourself to notice them. Brainwash yourself with how flipping amazing your life is. And then watch your life become flipping amazing. And that's not fake it till you make it. We're not pretending here. We're not pretending that we have an amazing car when we don't. What we are doing is we're going, do you know what? This car isn't flipping amazing, but it gets me from A to B, and I like the colour of it. So there's my glimmer about this car. You know? It's not about having the most amazing house. It's about noticing the things that you love about the house that you're in. It's not about having the most amazing job. It's about noticing the pieces of your job that you love and allowing those to expand and grow in your world. Because when they do, your world will change. Whew! Don't know where that all came from this morning, but there you go. You've got it. Do what you will with it.